good morning from sunny Munich and a very warm welcome to you all. More importantly, thank you for taking the time to join our online seminar today. So we have a really nice program for you. Our main focus will be to bring you all on a journey as we go through our online tools. So as you can appreciate, setting up best practices, okay, in a company streamlines then operations, it enhances consistency, and for sure, it improves the quality. And our main message today will be hopefully to make you all aware of how you should communicate with the EPO so that you can continue to work in a more effective way within your own company. So perhaps we have also some non-native attendees today as well. So welcome, and both myself and Roberta, we will do our utmost to be concise and clear in our explanations. Let me present myself briefly. My name is Emer Luke. I am from Ireland, and I have been working for this organization for many years now. I've accumulated a lot of experience already within the customer area, and I'm very pleased to say that I'm working as a key account manager for almost 5 years now. It is with great pleasure that I am going to co-host this seminar today with my lovely colleague Roberta, who has kindly offered to do so, and it is very much appreciated. So Roberta, over to you. Would you like to present yourself?
Thank you, Irma. Yes, I'm the direct colleague of Irma. I'm very excited to share and spend time in this seminar with her. I think that among the public, there are already people knowing me, and so a warm welcome. And for the people that never had the chance or we didn't meet yet, I'm Roberta Andreatta. I'm Italian. I'm a key account manager since 2017. And I'm very proud to be today with you and to spend these 2 hours together in order to really speak and deep dive in these topics that are very important. I see some hearts, so possibly people that know me already from other seminars, mainly in French. Irma said it all, so I would say we move on with the agenda. So as you see, the list appears to be very long, but don't worry, it's not going to be boring, we hope. And we are going to touch base on what we call the My EPO services that you know are nowadays online filing 2.0, My EPO, central fee payments. We are going to speak about how to access all these available free of cost tools offered by the EPO. So how to create your EPO account and your company portal. The importance to attach the identification method to this EPO account. Then we will move on to online filing 2.0 and how to manage user admin rights and action in there. And then Ima, we take over again the word, and we will step in our new service, the baby that is like growing step by step, and the new version are always available, and the new features are coming. So it's My EPO. And in there, we will explain the importance of the portfolio views, how to look at your documentation, and we move on. After this first part, let's say, we will have a short coffee break. So cup of coffee just to free again our heads and then move on. And we will then go into the topic of managing representative profiles or managing association in our tools. We will talk about the PCT link, central fee payment processes as you read, and then, of course, as best practice ever, the onboarding and offboarding of users of all these systems. And then when you have a role as a first employee of such portals or the sole employee, an individual. And then finally, we will close the session talking about the new feature Doc X, and we will do a little summary. So let's move on, and then let's see what is the panorama of the online tools at the EPO since 1st of January 2026. As I said, we have the My EPO services. You see here on these slides our filing tool by excellence. I say so, the online filing 2.0, because for the moment is the filing tool that is really the most complete one. So in there you find all the available forms that you could use in front of the EPO to communicate on your procedure, and it contains all the EPC procedures. Then we have the My EPO, as I said, that is growing step by step. Maybe some of you are already using it, some other are totally new on this new platform, but we will discuss the importance of the My EPO as such in order for you to work in flexibility towards all the tasks and action you have to exploitate during your working days. So in My EPO, for example, you can opt to reply already to some office communications, and Ima will explain that in detail later on. We move on to the central fee payment, so the dedicated tool for paying fees. So you don't have to fill in, let's say, a form. You just can step into this tool, give the application number for which you want to pay something, and in there, then we will discover what are the processes, what you can do, and how you can have a very good overview on your bank account opened with us, with the EPO. And finally, you have the contingency upload service. We do not promote it as much, but very important is a system that you can use in case of emergency. Let's say that one of the tools at the top are not working, or all of them are not working. Could happen. It never happened so far, Irma, so we are lucky. But then the contingency upload service will help you if you have really extremely urgent deadlines to apply for the day, to file, and to communicate with us. This is a system that you can opt to use as well via your EPO account. So that's the importance of the EPO accounts to work freely among all the tools. But you can opt as well to open up just an account of email and password that, and we will forward you a temporary link, and then you can then act on the KUS. Okay. As I said it, very important, the My EPO account, the EPO account. What is it? Is nothing else that the very nice old smart cards we were having in plastic some times ago are now totally digitally virtual. So this is our EPO account, My EPO account. And of course, you need to have one, you need to possess one in order to access regularly on our tools. So how do you create an account if you still don't have one? On the homepage of the EPO, at the very top in the navigation bar, you will find applying for a patent. Then, of course, you will see the landing page, My EPO services, and in there you need to go to get access. Of course, there are different ways of accessing to the same landing page, but one way would be this one. So, creation of a personal EPO account, 3-step, very important. There is not only the creation of a personal EPO account if you don't still have one, but you need afterwards to link this EPO account to a My EPO platform. And the third step would be for the administrator of the My EPO platform to grant you access rights to work with it. If you are already using Online Filing 2.0, of course, you have already an EPO account. And if you are new to My EPO, maybe you are now thinking to start to use the mailbox, for example, because in that platform you will find the EPO mailbox. Then, of course, you have to link this account to a My EPO platform. So, Imar, you can change the slides. Great. So we said, in the Get Access area. The first tab would be Create an EPO account, where into it you find the link that will open the form. What is this form asking for? Surely it's asking for your first name, your last name, and an email address that you need to confirm, and you will then need to accept the term and condition. This email address will be the first point of contact for us, and is the email that could be corporative if your society wants so, or could be a personal one, meaning Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, because it's not influencing the way how you will then interact into the platform of our tools. It's for you the way to receive the code in order to access into these tools. So you will be receiving an email in this email address, and in there you will find then the link to create your password. And this is the creation of your EPO account. The rules for the passwords are the very general and known ones that nowadays are used. So they need to be very difficult to remember. So write it down. And they have to have capital, small letter, numbers, symbols, whatever. So very complicated. Write it down. Well, what we ask you to do after that you have created your EPO account, of course, is then to identify at least one methodology to identify yourself. And that's why the process will then continue, as you see. And by default, the process is indicating you or proposing you to choose a modality that is very linked to your mobile phone. This mobile phone could be, of course, the company mobile phone in the best scenario, or yes, decide to use your personal one. Yeah, you have different possibility. We will talk very soon about it. And then, as you see, there is the possibility to activate the identity by email. And in this case, will be the email with which you signed in to create your EPO account. So please select immediately one. What are the various possibilities? You will have possibly to download two apps, one of the other one, whatever you like, but you have at your disposal the Okta Verify app, that it will send you the code to be typed in, but as well, it proposes you to activate the push notification. So that means very easily you reply to the question, are you? Yes. So you still avoid to have typos when try to code in the numeric code. Then you have, of course, the Google Authenticator app. In that case, you will have the numeric code. You can opt to receive your code by SMS or even a voice call. And this voice call could be forwarded to a land telephony, but it's up to you to know how busy is your telephone every day. So choose with, let's say, thinking about such stuff. Then you will have, of course, the email, as I said, and since the beginning of these years and last years, I do not recall anymore, the possibility as well to activate biometric methods like the facial recognition, Face ID, fingerprint recognition, window hello, for example, and then as well to use physical security keys like the YubiKey and the gender that are as well indicated on this slide. Good. So far, so good. We said you opt for the first identification method. Of course, as key account manager, we always advise to at least activate 2 of them. You can activate them all, there is no limits, but at least 2, just not to be stopped in accessing our tools. But most important, during this process, do not stop there. After having opted for the first identification method, please continue the setup towards a My EPO platform, a My EPO portal. So you click then complete setup, and what will happening, you can opt to 2 different experience. So you could be a person that is asking to join already an existing My EPO portal. So you are joining as a company that is already set up in My EPO. So in that case, you will choose join existing company. And in that case, is the administrator of this My EPO portal that will then have the role to accept you and grant you the admin rights to cooperate in the same environment. While the second experience will be create a new company. Let's say you are an individual. It's the first time, so you has just create your EPO account. And of course, you need to create as well your My EPO platform. Then by creating a new company, you will find all the relevant information to be filled in. The name of the company could be your personal name. So let's say Emer is for the first time trying to get in contact with us online with the EPO. She's the sole person in this company. Then she would open her company My EPO portal via Emerlook. And then if you have already an EPO bank account opened and you possess the number, please insert it as well. This is very important because to each EPO account, we always advise to have the bank account linked to this profile because this will be very, very useful at the moment that you would like to pay fees in respect of all the files you are representing or you are working in it. The same experience you have it when you are joining an existing company. So if you have already the information on your bank account, please insert it and do not forget to click add because only by indicating is not saving the information. So write the number, click add, and then you click next. So your request, in the case you are joining an existing company, will be then for you pending. Pending, as I said it before, because the administrator of this company mailbox needs then actively to access My EPO, go with this role as administrator to the administration area. And there is the place, exactly, thank you, Emer. So the administrator of the company actively access My EPO, go under the admin area, and the administrator will find you, as you see in the example, in request to join from. So he will be able to assess, is this a person that I'm expecting to be, that I have to insert into the company member and then click approve, or otherwise it could be that he declines this request. And why so? Because of course there are as well companies that have several different My EPO portals for the sake of receiving, for example, the electronic communication by headquarters. So in order to have a split in communication, several, let's say, different are opting to create different My EPO. So in that case, the administrator will not accept you. He will come back to you saying, please choose the right portal name. So when you are creating your EPO account and you are filling in the form, please be aware of what is the actual name of the company portal that you want to join. Normally, the field is proactive, is a menu where the EPO already proposed to your eyes all the different variation that we could potentially have about a particular company. So just opt for the right one. But let's say you have been approved. So your name will show into the list of the company members, and the administrator then will grant you all the rights to in flexibility work to the different parts of our My EPO services. As you see, you can see your name, you can see the My EPO number, very important. This number is the one that you need to know as well when you get in touch with our support, for example, when you want to get in touch with your key account manager. This My EPO number, EPO account, is very important to us to assess how looks like your profile, and from there start to analyze if you have the right level of EPO rights and actions. Then he can decide to add you as a user of the mailbox. So that means you will have the possibility to access the mailbox, to assess communication in there, and to manage. And Irma will talk about it later on because it's a very important topic for us under the umbrella, the strategic umbrella 2028. Then he can grant rights to the fee payment system. There you have 3 levels. You can consult, so look at the bank account to see how much money you have on it, and maybe then inform, we don't have enough, please replenish. You can have consult and pay fees, so that means that via the central fee payment, you could then perform payments. And then you have the level most high, which is manage as well. And that gives you, for example, the possibility to create list of files under the automatic debit order. And of course, it grants you a very good overview on the bank account, and Irma will explain that later on. It will give you the possibility to proactively process your reimbursement. Finally, it could decide to name you as well as administrator. We always say for all our tools, very important, at least 2 administrators for reason of backup. If one is absent, there will be always a person there that can jump into the tool and perform changes. Yeah. If you are a big company, please, even more than 2, it's up to you. But please try to assign this role to persons that have a good overview on how the tools are functioning and working. And in view of the complexity and how our tools are nowadays communicating with one another, they are, let's say, linked to one another, we do advise to have the same administrator for both portals. I think Irma is agreeing with me, My EPO or Online Filing 2.0. And then the signing rights and the sending rights, they are by default indicated as green light. So that means every new user will get these rights already accorded. But if you are a company that, as I said before, you are not still using My EPO really to reply to some of our communication, then your decision to set back the light from green to red. But of course, today we are here with Irma to make you as well very, let's say, curious on how to use My EPO, right, Irma? So leave it in green.
Absolutely, Roberta, absolutely.
And finally, we have the last column, mailbox recipient, which is a very important feature. And why so? So if the new user has the profile of a representative or a legal practitioner, and you are already known to us because you already registered with your representative number, then this column will be populated with a feature which is activated, that is add to the recipient list. Why is this very important? It's very related to the use of the mailbox. So, of course, if you want to activate the mailbox, this list is important. But even though you still do not receive electronic communication from our side, the list of recipients must be populated because this is opening up the logic of the portfolio when you are then in My EPO. And Irma will explain us really in detail how to get access to it and what you will see behind the logic of the portfolio. So, and one last words on these slides, we have different features. You see that you have as well a download data available. So, particularly for big companies, of course, this list could be very, very long and it is difficult to get an overview. So what you could do is to download this list in a CSV format. Then the administrator can opt to improve or change or grant rights directly into this list. And then on the top, you could update this list again so that you say you can manage your user in batch, okay? In one of the next version of this list, you will be able to see as well information on bank account and as well on representative numbers, yeah? But you can then insert as well this information if you add it on this list. But once you have uploaded, they will not appear immediately because these two information, so deposit account numbers and representative numbers, need to be validated from us internally, but they will appear then in your overview. Okay, Emer, please move on and then. Okay, so just to give you a overview, first step, you create your EPO account and then do not forget to register towards a My EPO portal. As a private and individual person, then you need to create a My EPO portal if you are the first person trying to use this system. And by default, you will be then named as administrator. That means you have then to step into My EPO and you need to give yourself the right level of rights. While when a person is joining an existing portal, it will be the administrator of this portal that have to grant rights. And there is no email notification, so the administrator will not be notified. There is a person expecting to be accepted, so please get in touch with the administrator, make him aware that you have performed all the steps so that your integration into the portal could be speeded up. And yes, I said it already, joining an existing portal company then would be the administrator that needs to do so, and there is no email notification to him. So just get in touch with the administrator of your company. Okay. Now, I said it at the very beginning. In the process of creating an EPO account, so you identify a first method of identify yourself, and we advise to activate more than one, yeah? Because many of them are linked to the mobile phone. It happened already to me. I come to work and I forget my mobile phone at home. So if I would have only option linked to my mobile phone, I would have not the possibility to work on our tools. And you can understand as key account manager, we go in quite often in our day, right, Emer? So please activate a second methodology. If you have then opted already for the first variation via the mobile phone, then please activate your email address as well, so that you know as soon as you are in the office, in front of your computer or at home, you can choose and opt how you want to get your code. But very important, the EPO account, your EPO account needs to be kept as well up to date. Yeah. So that means this link, the account settings, it's very important. And we advise you to save it in your internal infrastructure in a place that you always find it. Where do you find it? Exactly in the same place. You see that on the top, we clicked on creating an EPO account, and just on the second box, you have managing EPO account settings. So what would you find there? You need to identify a first time yourself. So you give your email address, you decide and opt to get your code, and then you are in a welcoming page where you find your personal information, the security methods, and the recent activities. So when you click on personal information, you will have then a tab, a blue tab on the top that will make active all the fields available in there. So you can update your email address eventually. You know, the email address that you used to create an EPO account could as well change at some point. You change department, so you need to adapt. Or you have left a company, so you changed your EPO account, let's say, to a personal email, and now joining the new company, they will instruct you to use a corporate email. So please do so. Bear in mind that you have to keep your EPO account always up to date in order for you to receive this code anytime. It doesn't matter from where you work, for who you work. Okay? And of course, under personal information, you can change a telephone number, and is the place where you activate a second method of identification your email, because the very last field will tell you false. So you need to change from false to true, and your first point of contact of the EPO account, so the mail that you choose, will be then validly activated to receive codes. Under security method, on the other hand, you will have all available other methods, and then I said you can opt to activate all of them. And eventually, if you are in need of changing the password, is there that you could then update the password too. So, and the recent activity, let's say it's the curiosity box, just to know where did you log in, how many times in the last 60 days. But you know, you can jungle, you can see. Okay. So again, a little scheme. The EPO accounts, very important. If you don't have one, create one via the SIAM link. Is the one that is behind the form that we just saw. Then once you have created your EPO account, of course, you have to request to be joined to, in this case, an existing company My EPO portal. Yeah. If you don't do that during the process of creation, is not a problem. You can always try to step in My EPO, and then the process will propose you. What would you like to do? Join an existing company, create a new company, so you will be not lost. And in any case, you can contact the EPO and our support if you feel a little bit lost. So please connect your EPO account to a My EPO portal, and if it is already existing, it will be the company administrator granting you access. If you are a new user and you need to create a portal, and My EPO portal, remember, you will be nominated automatically as administrator. So step in then in My EPO, and you have to grant yourself rights. Of course, this EPO account has to be linked as well to an online filing 2.0 portal. That means same story. If the company is already using online filing 2.0, will be the administrator that will then onboarding you into the online filing 2.0 portal and grant you access. If you are the first person opening up the online filing 2.0, then you need first to register. 24 hours later, normally the portal is available to you. And because you are the first person requesting the opening of an online filing 2.0 portal, you are again the administrator of yourself. So you give yourself access, admin rights to the forms, and you are then responsible for newcomers into the portal to insert them. Normally, when an EPO account is just newly created, we advise to wait approximately 1 hour before trying to insert this new EPO account into online filing 2.0. Our internal database need to fetch all the new requests, and it is up to date once every full hour. So let's say I'm opening up today, at 10:37 now an EPO account. Let's say that by 11, I'm very sure that I will be able, as administrator, to insert this new EPO account into online filing 2.0. And voila, we are talking about our filing system. Yeah, as I said it before, the most complete tool at the moment that is side by side with My EPO with very exciting features. If you don't have a portal, because till now you have filed with us in paper form, please then take your time to create your portal. So as I said, there is a registration form. How do you access to it? Second way of accessing My EPO services or online filing 2.0 would be to be on our homepage. You scroll down and you will find in the middle applying for a patent. And in there, as Irma is showing, there are, of course, the access quick links. So you click on online filing 2.0, and in there is as well, as you see in the middle of the page, a getting access. So in there, you will find the registration form, okay? On the top, the blue bulk, online filing 2.0, would be the place once the portal is created to step into the tool. But for now, we are opening up the form for the registration. Again, same information that you can read, easy. You fill everything in, you accept the terms and condition. And as I said, 24 hours later, normally you are ready to go as an administrator if you are the first person, and then grant access to other users. Yeah? So 24 hours later, you step into the blue bulk online filing 2.0. And of course, because you are the administrator, you have available at the top the tab Administration. You go by Access Rights and Permission then, and you click the Add tab. And this window will show up to you. So you need to give the username, in this case, Irma Luc, and you need to give the EPO account number. Yeah, the one that on the My EPO platform you would be looking at as first column. And you can opt as well to nominate this person immediately as administrator as well. Yeah, and you click Save. Once you have done that, let's say then the users is into the portal of online filing 2.0, you need on a case to move on, because this person needs to have rights to look and see the forms that are contained in this environment. In this slide, for example, you see the profile of an administrator. So basically, administrators have access with these ticks that you see there to all the possible action and forms and and forms. Yeah. But let's say now that you are a new person, you are not having all these ticks, your role is standard. So the administrator will tick your name as indicated into the slide next to Emer. And then again, by access rights and permission, you will have then the tab Manage Right and Permission. So clicking in there, the next window would be then the list of all the forms and what this person can do on these forms. So draft, sign, or send. You can have several and different profiles. You could be a company where decides everybody needs to have the same level of access and action. So you can identify in once all the forms and give to all of your collaborator the right to draft, to sign, and to send. Or you can play around. You can think about, okay, in my company, we are divided by EP department responsible for the EP procedure, one other department just responsible for the PCT procedure. And in that case, you will opt to whom to give access to which form and to which level of action. So you can opt to say, okay, one group gets the access to form 1001 and 1200, and they can prepare the draft. They would not have the right to sign, but they can send again. So it's up to you how you want to be organized, or everything, or you decide the granularity. Okay, by signing in Online Filing 2.0, we are talking about an alphanumerical signature. That means even if my paralegals has the right to sign, that means that she types the name of the responsible representative or legal practitioners on file. And this is for us validly signed. Of course, we know that before that you are sending something to us, the form is going to be counter-checked, discussed. The paralegal will speak with the representative in charge, asking, is everything okay with the technical documentation? Can we move on? Can we sign? And can we send? And once the green light is given, of course, then a paralegal profile could be really flexible to insert signature and then perform the sending, even in batch. Okay, and down you will see then admin rights to give permission to create, for example, templates. Meaning people that don't have these rights, they can use templates if you are used to start from a template, so a pre-filled form instead all the time to prepare one new from scratch. But the person having this level of right can work in the environment of a templates, so to update a specific templates, to delete outdated one and stuff like that. And the same logic goes with the address book. And oh God, I cannot read anymore. Is everything very small? But anyway, you will see all the other level of
the folders, Berta, the manage
Exactly.
the submission folders. Yeah.
Exactly. People not having, for example, these rights to folder, it doesn't mean that they cannot use a folder. They can store something in that specific folder, but the person that has the folder rights can then decide, okay, this folder will close it up, is outdated, not anymore in use, and so create a sort of structure in the landing page of Online Filing 2.0. And of course, do not forget to give access to the production portal of Online Filing 2.0. Okay, so very important. Okay, let's move on. And yes, as you are onboarding someone in this portal, of course, you can decide to offboard someone as well as administrator. So let's say I will leave very soon in retirement, so I'm very happy to start my new chapter in life. The administrator of my company will then know exactly, okay, Roberta needs to be removed from the list of collaborators, of active collaborators in the portal on Online Filing 2.0. How it works that? Very easy. Administration tab again, access rights and permission. You tick next to the name that you want to remove. And of course, then the tab delete will be available to you. Online filing is a dynamic graphical interface, so you need to respect certain steps before that a feature it will be available to you. So respect, if you don't get the delete tab, there is a reason behind. Try to redo the step in the process and then you will be able to delete. Okay, I think I said it all, Emer.
Wonderful, Roberta. You were wonderful. Really, very nicely done.
Okay, I think there are no question at the
I
moment.
was just going to ask, is there something that came into the questions there that perhaps you'd like to speak about, or are we doing okay with the questions?
I do not get the delete. I do not get the delete tab now. I don't know if you are trying right now on Online Filing 2.0 and you don't see it. Okay, yes, there is someone already trying doing it. Look, as I said, if you are the administrator, you should have available the administration tab on the navigation tab. Okay? And by ticking the name that you see in the list, you tick it first and then you go to access rights permission. It should then be available on the top right, the delete tab. If you are not managing to get it, please get in contact with us. We can see it later on. So just write an email and we will get back to you, no problem.
If you want to delete a person, make sure you're deleting the right person.
Of course.
I mean, sometimes a mistake can happen so easily. So but when you want to delete a user from the system, it will come up with, are you sure that you wanted to delete this person? So just, as I said, make sure it is the right person.
Okay. Emer, there is another question concerning Online Filing 2.0. One person filed yesterday and the status of the filing is as submitted, but apparently it didn't receive the acknowledgement of receipt. Normally you have to go actively again inside the form that you just sent. And once you open it up at the very top, you can download the acknowledgement of receipt. And after that, you can download the official bundle of technical documentation that you sent to us. So please try, click again on the application that you see in Online Filing 2.0, and then you should be forwarded to the page where you find at the very top the acknowledgement of receipt. Okay.
And if not, Roberta, again, please contact support. Maybe it's in the chat already, or Martine will put in the chat again. So
Yes.
You're not on your own here. If there's anything whatsoever, do reach out to your key account manager if you have one, or as I said, do contact support.
And Emma, one last question, and then I give you the word. Can an administrator be deleted? No, that's why it's very important to have more than one, because of course one administrator can delete the other one. If you are the only one then, and maybe you need to shut down the portal of Online Filing 2.0 for any reason, please get in touch with us and we will do it then internally. But an administrator, a solely administrator, cannot be deleted, not at all.
No. And as we go through the presentation, you'll hear more and more about company administrator. So, and the importance of the company administrator. So you'll see that in the next few slides. Maybe I should go ahead, Roberta. Are we okay?
Yes, we are okay, Emer.
Perfect. Okay. Now, thank you very much, Roberta. Wonderful. Now, Roberta's kindly shown you how to get an EPO account, what you need to do actually when you join an existing company, and what you should do when you have to create a new company portal. Now, you've had a little insight into the online filing 2.0 tool, and you should now have, let's say, a slightly better idea of how important, as I just said, the role of the company administrator is. So just remember that we are really giving you a great responsibility that is of crucial importance for your company. And on that note, let's take a look at My EPO before we have a short coffee break. So in My EPO is again part of our integrated suite of My EPO services that really makes it easier for you to interact with us during your proceedings. So My EPO can be accessed on the EPO website under Applying for a Patent, Services, interact with us on your files, and then you sign in with your EPO account using two-factor authentication. So this is your email address plus your password. So this is the factor one. And this is followed then by another authentication method, factor two. So the mailbox settings. So once you have set up an EPO account via the two-factor authentication, you will be able to sign into My EPO. Now, in the mailbox settings tab, you have the possibility to activate and deactivate the mailbox for your company. Now, by default, the mailbox is switched off. Now, what I will say here is that we send links of your communications to your secure company mailbox. And I will also emphasize company here because anyone who needs to access and process your mail will be able to access it by the mailbox. So company, so what's a company in My EPO? In My EPO, it's a group of users who share a mailbox and who can work together on portfolios of applications. So for those of you who are still not perhaps using the mailbox, you can always try it out. And if you decide that you need a little bit more time, you can deactivate it, and you will, of course, then continue to receive all the communications via post. But I think it's always nice to add here, please feel reassured as well that once the mailbox is switched on, no mail items do go missing. So we're coming then to accessing your portfolios and documents. So just remember again, as a company administrator, you will see the admin area appear as one of the menu options in My EPO. So in the company members tab, you can see the list of users associated with your company and specify which user then should have mailbox access, who should then manage the fee payment rights, to view only or pay. Of course, then we have the administration rights and rights to sign and send submissions. So you can also check as well to see who is the company administrator for your company. And as you can see here in this slide, under the admin rights, it is yes, meaning that I am indeed a company administrator. Now we come to My EPO company members. So if, for example, I click on my name here under the company members, I will be able to view all my details with regards to my EPO account, meaning it will provide me with my EPO account number. It will tell me which company I am working for, my email address, phone number. If I have a deposit account linked to the company portal, and as I am a professional representative, it will provide me with my unique identification number. So the number that I received when I passed the EQE. And talking about removing a user, as Roberta did there a while ago, what should you do, for example, if you change company? Okay, so in this respect, the company administrator should go to the company members option in the admin area and remove you as a member of the company by simply clicking on the username and selecting then the option to remove the user from the company, as can be seen in the slide here. I want to say something here as well. So when you remove a company member, okay, this also removes them as a mailbox recipient, and it unlinks the deposit account number from their account. So in cases of duplicates, the company administrator should make sure to remove again the correct EPO account. Okay, so the one without the required roll calls, and verify that the individual is still a recipient where needed. Again, the reason why we're here today, it should become really a best practice to make sure that the correct roll codes, the numbers, are indeed attached to the employee EPO account. So what do we do when we add a recipient? So once the mailbox has been activated, you can add a recipient to the mailbox in order to receive the communications electronically. Now, a recipient then can be a European representative, an association of representatives, a lawyer, or a self-representing party like an applicant or proprietor. And in the admin area, this is only available to users who have administration rights. In other words, the company administrators. Now we come to adding a recipient as an individual professional representative or in an association. So a recipient can be entered into MyEPO once and only for one company. Very, very important. So here you can see I've added myself then as an individual professional representative, or you can add an association, as I have done also. Luke Limited, and you click on the send request. I want to mention something about legal practitioner as well. If you are a legal practitioner with files in your name, okay, you should be added. But some people ask what should they enter here. But in this case, then you should be added as a representative. So when the request is made to add a new mailbox recipient, the EPO then checks to make sure that the recipient is indeed linked to the company. And of course, if there is for some reason, which can happen, some discrepancy, the EPO will be in contact with you. So once a recipient has been added to your company, access to their portfolio of applications will be made available in MyEPO for users with portfolio viewing permissions. And I will go into this a little bit later on. Okay. I'm multitasking here with the PowerPoint, Roberta. I'm doing my best here. Okay, so or alternatively, okay, you have the option then to add a professional representative directly within the admin tab under a recipient. So what's important is that you will see something like this in this pop-up that you have indeed been added to mailbox recipients for your company. Now we come to accessing your portfolios and documents. So again, as a company administrator, okay, you should be able to see the tab Applications and Patents. Then when you select this tab, you will see a list of representatives and associations that have been added as recipients for your company. Then when you select one of these professional representatives or an association, their portfolio of application appears. So what happens next is that you decide. So we're asking you to decide as a company administrator who you want to grant permission to, either to view the portfolio in question under permission level, or again, you decide who should have full control. So having full control will permit, let's say, a user to see applications for the representative or association, including, of course, as well, you have the unpublished applications. And they will also be able to perform pending procedural actions too for these applications, draft submissions and fee payments, and sign and send to the EPO. We'll come more then to the procedural actions a little while later on. Okay, so here in the Application and Patents tab, you can enter the number of any EP, so your PCT application on the left-hand side, to access public information about that particular application. You can also search and filter applications and then perform actions on one or more of these applications. You also then have the possibility to download information about the application to a CSV file that you can open in Excel or upload, of course, to your IP management system. Now, of course, you can request certified copies, so transfer of rights and register licenses, or even submit a procedural request such as change of representation. You will see the more really that you work with the EPO on your patent applications, there will be a time when you need to let us know about, let's say, any relevant changes to your cases. Let's give you an example here. So let's say a patent attorney has decided to stop working on a particular case and has moved to another company, let's say another attorney firm, or an applicant has decided not to pursue an application and wants to withdraw it. Remember that such changes can happen at any time during the patent granting procedure. Again, very, very important. Please be aware of how you communicate with the EPO. So in this respect, the panel applications and patent make it, I suppose it makes it really easier for you to do this by simply submitting a procedural request so that the EPO then can check what needs to be changed and to process the change in question. So on this slide, we have listed which actions can be taken here. So any requests for changes about applications that the EPO must be signed by an authorized person, so like an appointed representative. And many firms already work with, let's say, an IP support staff who draft and submit requests, providing the name of the authorized signatory. Okay, so again, as a rule, in MyEPO, any user who has been granted access by their company administrator to work on a given portfolio of applications will have access then to applications and patents area where they can draft, review, and of course submit requests. Moving on then to working on an application. So when it really comes to working on an application, so you'll see key public information about the application itself, and of course, which is really intuitive, you have direct links then to the EP register, the Espacenet, and central fee payment. So just to the right of the link to the central fee payment, you have the action pull down menu, which will permit you to perform procedural actions related to the application in question. Now, new features to come, I'm just going to mention it briefly, will be referenced to this timeline, okay, where you will be able to make a direct inquiry about an application or request an acceleration of the application. We have then the pending actions panel, which is also available to all users of MyEPO, and it will show a list of submissions that have been started but not yet completed and their status. So if, for example, you have been granted access to an application portfolio by your company administrator, then it will show you a list of pending actions that the EPO is expecting you to perform that have, let's say, a due date. And today I have chosen simply an application where I've just highlighted due fees, which shows information then about pending fees with, of course, a direct link to the central fee payment so that you can process them. And I think this is our last slide here before we go on a break. So I wanted to mention something about the responses exactly via MyEPO. As you work with the EPO on your patent applications, you will receive procedural communications from the EPO in your mailbox. And some of these have a deadline by which you need to reply. So the actions area then within MyEPO makes this easier by displaying a list of, let's say, replies with deadlines that are pending for some actions and guiding, more importantly, guiding the user through the reply. So as, again, a company administrator, you can manage who files which actions in MyEPO by using the signing and sending rights to potentially restrict people from filing if your internal workflows are not yet in place. So users with portfolio permissions can also view any pending or performed actions in these portfolios. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about how to reply to these communications today, but at least you have now an idea of which replies can be filed via MyEPO. And basically, MyEPO gives you a more, I suppose, user-friendly alternative that reduces the risks of errors. But you can also still file via Online Filing 2.0 for all submissions and responses. Of course, this goes without saying. So on that note, we are going to take a short break. So it's 8 minutes past 11.
Emer,
Yes.
sorry, before we go on a break, because I
Of
think
course.
it's very good on the topics that you just touch based. There is two questions at least that we can cover. One question would be, how can I see another company's association number on MyEPO? I can find a company, but cannot see their association number. We are quite often asked for an association number for transfers of portfolio. So in that case, it's something that you have to know about the company to whom you want to transfer those files. Normally, we think before deciding to transfer a particular portfolio, you will have contact with one of the representative of the other company. So maybe check up with the person with whom you are in touch if they are operating under an association, or otherwise, as advised, just choose an individual name, and then the society company receiving the portfolio will then transfer themselves to the proper asset. But a way how to find out if there is an association available or just individual, try to access our web page. We the same motors where you will find you are looking for a representative. You type the name of the company, for example, and in there is a prompt menu that will give you, of course, if there is an association, the name of it. And then you can choose it in MyEPO as well. So at the moment that you are transferring files via MyEPO and you try to give the name of the company, normally associations are named following the legal name, it will be prompt to you. I hope we could give you an idea on how to find out if a society is operating under association. And then, Emer, maybe I don't know if you want to reply that. Another scenario is 3 representatives are going to leave our company. I need to change representation for about 800 active EPO cases. What is the best practice of doing this? We would not want a confirmation for every single case. Can I do this via MyEPO? And will it be safe to remove these representatives after the representation was transferred? Would you like to answer yourself, Ima?
Do you know what we're going to do? Because afterwards we have the onboarding and offboarding, okay? So we're going to go into really more detail of what you need to do. And there is a particular department here who you can send communication to, who will look after that for you. So just bear with us. As I said, I think it's better that we wait. We appreciate your questions, so thank you very much for that. Very nice question. But we will go into this in more detail later on, and we'll actually show you what you need to do in this respect. Okay. We're going to stay maybe on the topic of MyEPO for the moment. Now, when you log into MyEPO, on the right-hand side, you will see an avatar with your name and the company you work for, okay, together with your EPO account number, your representative number, and if your EPO account has been linked, of course, to a deposit account. So the representative area in MyEPO allows professional representatives and legal practitioners, okay, to manage their data registered and published by the EPO. You will not be able to access the representative area unless you have been entered as a professional representative before the EPO or the Register of Legal Practitioners. So to request entry, or let's say re-entry on the list, you need to sign into MyEPO and open your user profile by selecting the user icon, as you can see here on the top right-hand corner. And then you either select request entry or you request re-entry, and a screen will then appear offering information and of course guidance then to assist you in submitting your request. Now here's the registration. You see clearly then what information needs to be filled out. And once you have been registered on the list of professional representatives, you will be notified then with your representative number. So the next time then you sign into MyEPO as a registered professional representative, or again as a legal practitioner, you will see the option to access your personal representative area through the main area of MyEPO. If there is any discrepancy whatsoever, do not worry, okay? You will be notified then by the EPO. Okay, so now once you have been entered, let's say on the register, you have the possibility to delegate access to your representative area to other members of your company by simply clicking on Manage Permissions. For example, we have here Mr. Stefan Luke, like my name. And with the pen icon, you can edit and request changes as soon as possible. So now you can see the preferred date of change cannot be guaranteed by the EPO. It could be different as well due to the EPO holidays, for example. So, of course, you're more than welcome to request it, change immediately, but it may not be on that date or as soon as possible, but certainly a few days later. Now, professional representatives and legal practitioners automatically have access to their representative area where they can update their entry on the list of representatives or legal practitioners. So this requires that their professional representative number is linked to the EPO account. So it is possible to allow someone else to manage your details if you want to centralize this process, okay? So in this case, the representative must click on Manage Permissions and select which people can manage their details. Also very important here, I'd like to mention if the representative area tab is not visible for the professional representative or the legal practitioner, this is usually because the professional representative number has not been added to their EPO account. So you can check this in their company member profile. And if this is the case, send a request to support to add then the professional representative then to their EPO account. Moving on then to managing association, again, role of company administrator. I don't know, many times I've said this today, but it really is so important, the role of the company administrator. And really, they are in a position to create a new association, to update the details of an association and add or remove a member of the association, provided that the association has been added as a recipient in the admin area within MyEPO. Okay. So in order to create an association, you must be at least 2 professional representatives. Roberta mentioned this beforehand as well. And all you need to do is go into the admin area, you click on mailbox recipients, and then you create the new association. Now here you can introduce the details of the new association. I would also mention that it is important to introduce the unique name of the association correctly, okay, as it will appear in all the communications. So you will also see that there's 2 lines then, let's say, to enter the name of the association, but only use the second field if the name is too long to fit into the first box. So once you have now entered, let's say, the details of the new association, the next step is for you to add at least 2 professional representatives as members of the association. And then you will confirm the creation of the association, and the association will be made available immediately for you to work with in My EPO. So users with portfolio permissions can also view any pending or performed actions in these portfolios. So again, only company administrators can add members to an association. You do this by going to the area applications and patents. You select the association in question, and then you select the members option, which can be seen on this slide, and you select add member. Don't worry, you're getting a copy of this PowerPoint, so you'll have all the details there for you. So moving on, you enter the representative number of the person you wish to add to the association. As mentioned earlier, this can be a professional representative or a legal practitioner, whether or not they are a member of your company, okay? So then the name of the representative will be shown after you have entered the ID, identification number. And very important, lots of important things today. You need to confirm that you are indeed authorized to make this change by both the existing association member as well as the person concerned before proceeding with the request. Actually, it does happen quite often that we would receive a question like why a different company name is shown for some members of the association, or it can happen that there is no name whatsoever. Again, this is the most probable, this is probably the most probable that the EPO account does not have the representative number attached to it, or their actual account has not yet joined the company in question within the My EPO. So again, if in doubt, please reach out to your key account manager if you have one, or to our support, and they will solve this issue for you.
Emer, on this
Yes.
note, we have an interesting question right now. So what
Please
happens?
do, Roberta. I'll take a little break here. So
What happens if representatives of an association leaves so that there is only one representative left? As Emer just explained, an association is composed of at least 2 members. So if one of the 2 leaves, of course, the necessity to start to file under your individual profile. So the left representative in the company have to transfer all the pending dossier under his individual profile. The association as such can remain, let's say, silent. It does not need to be cancelled, because there is always the possibility that a new colleague having the same profile as representative can be anytime added. I hope we reply to the question.
It's almost like a telepathy, Roberta, because I was going to mention this actually in the next slide as well. So obviously somebody is listening very attentively, very good. So, but I will mention it again. So to remove a member from an association, again, you go into the application and patents area and you select members option, okay? So then you find the member of the association that you wish to delete, and you click on the minus, and a pop-up will appear with the remove member symbol, and you confirm your change request. Now, in the case, if an association has only 2 members, then the removal symbol will simply not appear. And why? As Roberta just mentioned, because the association cannot have less than 2 members. So again, the same procedure, you confirm that you are authorized to make this change and you click on yes and you remove the member. So the changes, whether you add a member or you delete a member from the association, takes effect, I believe, almost immediately. And a communication then, of course, will be sent to your company mailbox, listing all the additions or let's say, and deletions which took place on that day. So moving on to email alerts. So if your company does not receive, let's say, communications regularly or daily or on a daily basis into the electronic mailbox from the EPO, it could be beneficial for you to set up an email alert to let you know then when new communications have arrived into your electronic mailbox. And where can you do this? You can do this then in the preference area. So first of all, new communications are only available, okay, to mailbox users. And you also have 2 additional options, new procedural actions and upcoming deadlines, which are only available to My EPO users who have been granted access to portfolios of applications by their company administrators. Okay, moving on, Roberta, I think we're okay to go maybe to the PCT link. So far, okay, let's just do a little recap. So we have shown you how to add a recipient, how to create an association, and in exactly the same area, you have the possibility to request a PCT link. So for those of you who are not, let's say, familiar with this link, let me tell you briefly about it. Okay, so the mailbox system was originally built for receiving EP communications electronically, okay, with identifiers linking then the EP filings and communications. And then a new system bridge then enables the international agent IDs to be linked to EP client IDs, allowing PCT communications to be received into the mailbox when the EPO is the receiving office. Okay, so international applicants or agents with PCT applications handled by the EPO as International Searching Authority or the International Preliminary Examination Authority can request a PCT link in order to receive EPO communications. And on this slide, you can simply see what steps need to be taken when you wish to set up a PCT alert. Requesting a PCT link involves, of course, entering an email address, which triggers an email from noreply@epo.org, asking the recipient to sign into My EPO and, of course, to agree to link the address to the mailbox, as you have seen in the example shown here. Okay, and once linked, all EPO communications for PCT applications associated with the address will be indeed routed to the mailbox. So there will be, I'm almost sure, there will be a seminar dedicated to the PCT link very shortly. So if the link is available or somebody, one of our colleagues here can perhaps put the link into the chat, that would be wonderful. But there is going to be a seminar. I'm not sure of the date yet, so maybe somebody could do that for us. Moving on, very important area. We're going to provide you some information with regards to the central fee payment. It's a topic that comes up again and again, and especially when it comes to refunds. And that's why we decided to put it into the best practice today. You can use central fee payment to pay your fees online and manage your deposit accounts and, of course, your automatic then debit orders. Payments must be made in euros. You can only claim refunds via central fee payment. So to access the central fee payment, you sign in always via 2-factor authentication. And you need to have a deposit account. And very important, your company administrator must grant you access, to the deposit account. So here you have the link then to log into Central Fee Payment. Hosing is my voice there, Robert. Okay, on this slide, we've provided a direct link to the deposit account. So whether you wish to open an account or close an account, you will go to this area, and you can also see that you can update your account details here as well. Very important, the landing page. So here's the landing page for Central Fee Payment, and you can see that you have the options to pay fees, claim refund with and without a code, manage deposit account, and of course, manage automatic debit orders. So if users have a deposit account, okay, what we recommend is that you file refund instructions together with the filing. So this ensures that refunds are credited, okay, automatically to the deposit account provided in the refund instructions. Now, refund instructions must be filed electronically via filing forms. So for example, you have the 1001, you have the 1038, the 1200 or EPCT. So if users have not provided refund instructions, the refund must be claimed in Central Fee Payment, either with a refund code or directly, again, without the refund code. So if, for example, directly in Central Fee Payment without the refund code, this is possible if you use MyEPO and its mailbox, and when you log into Central Fee Payment with, of course, the two-factor authentication. By default, only actual recipients of refunds, so example, applicants, representatives or opponents, can claim refunds online. And to enable support staff to claim refunds on behalf of recipients, the MyEPO company administrator must first grant them full control access to portfolios in MyEPO. If you're using a refund code, the refund code will be sent separately by post. So obviously you can appreciate this is due to security reasons. And the letter providing the refund code does not contain the application number, but only the internal reference. And then they have to match, or you have to match then the internal reference with their application number, and you enter both in Central Fee Payment then to claim the refund. Okay, so here once the deposit account has been set up and you do not see your account when you sign into Central Fee Payment, you need to make sure that you have been let's say, provided the necessary permissions in MyEPO. So again, a small checklist. Make sure that your deposit account is indeed linked to your EPO account, and make sure that you have signed in with full access. Really important here. And if in doubt, you are always more than welcome then to contact support. So the link to support is also attached here. We've also decided then to put in some steps when it comes to the refunds, 2 important steps, I should say, explaining how to claim a refund directly. So the MyEPO administrator needs to assign rights to users. So step 1, the refund recipient has to be added as a mailbox recipient in MyEPO. And step 2, the administrator must grant full control permission in the portfolio to the user who is responsible then for claiming refunds in general. So please note that rights for all portfolios cannot be granted in one go. So rights must be granted individually for each portfolio. So each representative in the company or each association. If someone in the company cannot see the refund in the direct claim view, this person probably does not have the full control permission for the right or for the, let's say, the correct portfolio. So in just a moment, I've added as well, or I should say we have added, Roberta and myself, we've added then 3 additional visual slides to assist you further here in this process. Moving on, again, the company administrator needs to have an overview of who can manage, pay, and view fees. And this can be found, of course, in the admin area under company members, under fee payment rights. And as just mentioned, here are again really important steps explaining how to claim a refund directly. So the MyAPO administrator needs to assign rights to users. So again, step 1, the refund recipient has to be added to the mailbox recipient within the admin area in MyAPO. Okay. And step 2, the administrator must grant full control permission in the portfolio to the user who is responsible for claiming refunds in general. So what the administrator will do, they will go into the, let's say they go into the applications and patterns within MyAPO. And as a company administrator, you will see then the option to manage the permissions. Now, on the left-hand side, you have the list of recipients then of the company, and you have a list of all the users in your company under company member. And then under the permission level, the company administrator can grant access, full control, or basically no permission. Okay, so the responsibility is really handed back to you. And then, you know, then the form 2907, so the refund letter, you can normally see who is the refund recipient, or let's say which portfolio the refund belongs to. And as a user, okay, so if you completed step 1 and step 2, then you should be able to see open refunds that were issued with a refund code in the direct claim view so that they can be claimed without a code. Again, just a little example, the refund recipient is Emer Luke as a professional representative. Therefore, people in the company who should be able to claim the refund directly need to have full control of the portfolio of the representative, Emer Luke. However, if the refund recipient is the association Luke Limited, then the people in the company who should be able to claim the refund directly must have full control permission of the association portfolio. Perhaps what's also good to mention here is that the refund, okay, just the refund belongs to the refund recipient, okay? So if the refund recipient is representative, so myself, okay, of the company Luke Limited, the refund belongs to Emer and not to the association. If I decide, okay, so I decided to change the company and I have not claimed the refund before leaving, I will still be able to claim the refund after I have left the company, since I am the refund recipient at the time of issuing the refund, even if the application remains with the association and has a new representative in their company now. And here, always nice to have some useful tips in a little checklist of what to be aware of when it comes to refunds. Again, you'll receive a copy and you can read it yourselves when you find a quiet moment, if you find a quiet moment. Okay. Okay, now we're going back to the gentleman, the lady who sent in a request beforehand. So this is an area that is so important. This area, when a new employee then joins a company, it's spoken about so much. And sometimes I have the impression that there's a little confusion, or let's say a misunderstanding, when it comes to the initial steps that one must take as an employee and an administrator when it comes to join a company, if you have to leave a company. I will also reaffirm one more time that when it comes to the company administrator, you're going to feel very, very important today, all the company administrators. You play really a vital role in ensuring that the online access to confidential patent procedure related information is only granted to those members of staff who really should have access. Now, I'm not going to read out what's already listed here, as it is a checklist for you to go through in your own time. However, I'm going to mention a few things here. Please take note that when an employee joins a company, there is a certain criteria which needs to be put in place with regards to the setup, managing user rights and providing access. So as an employee, if the newcomer has already an EPO account from a previous company, you should transfer it, okay? However, this is only possible if you still have access to your previous account's email or phone option. If transferring is not at all possible at this stage, you need to set up a new EPO account. So if you're not linked to a company, you will be offered the choice to create a new company or join an existing company. And then, of course, the MyEPO administrator will provide you with the exact name of the company. You will then see a message confirming that your request is pending approval by your company administrator. And if you have been added to an existing EPO account, you must verify that the profile has the correct deposit account number linked to it. Also very important. For patent attorneys, you should also make sure that you have your professional ID linked to your EPO account. And again, you can check this by clicking on company member, as was shown previously in the presentation. If you're applying for a patent as a, let's say as a private person and not on behalf of a company or through a professional representative, you still need to set up a specific then MyEPO company for yourself, and you will be the company administrator for your company. So you would just like you would use your first name and last name as the name of the company, and your personal EPO account can only be linked to one MyEPO company at any time. So also remember, as a professional representative, you need to update your information in the representative area in MyEPO. Role of administrator, I'm just going to say, it is really the first point of contact for any user who is going to join a company. So they oversee and they manage all the access rights within the online tools. So we're talking MyEPO, Online Filing 2.0, Central Fee Payment. It is their obligation. Okay, so it's their obligation to make sure that all the access rights provided are in order, and this should be checked on a regular basis. Okay, so whether a new user joins a professional representative, adding an association as a recipient, it's up to the administrator to act by adding them as a user and activate them as a recipient. Again, a recipient can only be entered in MyEPO once and only for one company. And once a recipient has been added to your company, access to their portfolio of applications will be made available in MyEPO for users with portfolio viewing permissions. And also remember to add this new user then into Online Filing 2.0 portal and grant user rights, or take into consideration, of course, if in fact you want all users or only selected users to be able to manage the template, address books, etc. Yeah, some companies, they just don't want certain employees like attorneys or paralegals to be able to sign and send actions performed in MyEPO. So therefore, it's really imperative that you take this role seriously and to know that you are in a position to restrict certain rights. Again, I'm not reading everything out here. I'm just giving you a few facts which are important. So when the company knows that an employee is leaving, you also have to put a workflow in place. So it would make sense that the administrator is in charge of this. And perhaps that your administrator is the admin for both MyEPO and Online Filing 2.0, as long as they are separate tools. So firstly, check that any files linked to an individual attorney who is leaving are transferred to a colleague or the association. Our tip, and we always say it, is for efficiency, we always encourage that all filing should be done as an association. So I'm promoting the association here, which removes the need for many admin steps. Now, if you have files linked to you as a professional representative, you can transfer them in MyEPO to a colleague by going into the application and patents area. You check the attorney's portfolio to identify all files under his or her name, and if files do exist, transfer them immediately to another attorney or indeed to the association. Under the Actions pull-down menu, you choose Change Representative. You select the type of entity that you're looking for, whether it's a representative or an association, and the system will automatically process these changes. Now, it can happen that some files cannot be filed in this manner. So I recommend as well that you send a correspondence. Then you can do this with the form 1038 to a lead application, or of course to 8 times the 0.0 requesting that all files for this attorney be transferred to attorney A, let's say, to an association. And obviously, if you're transferring the files to multiple attorneys, we would require the instructions as to which attorney receives which files. Again, if you have any questions, then please reach out to our support or through or via your CAM, or you can actually send, which is what this gentleman or lady said earlier on.
Exactly. Emer, for a portfolio which is very, very large, of course, my EPO has a great value, but if the list is very much populated of files, we are not pretending that you are selecting them from your own portfolio and make the change request via my EPO. Just in this case, we would advise, and I think Emer is in agreement with me, to use Online Filing 2.0, take out a 1038, choose a leading file, and then attach a CSV list to be sent to the department dealing with the transfer of rights. In this way, we will be able to receive immediately online your request. The department dealing with the transfer of the change representation will know exactly which files very easily to change towards the new individual representative or towards a specific association. So indeed, transfer of representation, it's a nice feature. You can opt to select them from your own portfolio. You ticket it out. You can filter by, for example, applicant name. But if it is really a massive request, remember Online Filing 2.0 is always there. If the request is urgent, then you can even opt to use the email cdr@epo.org, requesting that the change can be then treated urgently. Sorry, I wanted to give you a little bit of breath, Emer.
You gave me a breath there, lovely, Roberta. But it's true. I mean, we've spoken to our colleagues there in the client data registration department. And rather than assuming you should do it this way, either contact us or contact then the client data registration directly, and they're more than willing to assist you and help you, especially if you have so many applications and you don't know where to send it to. At least get advice on it, and they will be able to tell you then what you need to do. Okay, so there's always an answer for everything. It's just I suppose it's just to know who to contact in the process. But there are answers, and it's just a matter of reaching out, and we will help you, of course, every step of the way. Thanks, Roberta, for giving me a break there. That's very good. Okay. Just very briefly, then you need to go into the Online Filing 2.0 and remove them as well from there. Yeah, you should also then remind them and to update the representative area. And in this case, when they log in at a new company, presumably any previous access rights are removed. If you work as an association, this user should also be removed from an association. And also remember that as company administrator, if you remove the person, let's say a patent attorney as a company member, it will automatically remove them from the mailbox. So if they are a recipient, and remove the deposit account from the profile. But perhaps before you consider to remove anyone, check whether there are any pending refunds in central fee payment as well. And as I already mentioned to you beforehand, once the person is removed, your company will lose access to any refunds linked to their individual profile. Very important, keep the list of administrators up to date if the administrator is leaving. So again, a valid reason to have multiple administrators. Okay, I'm not going to go through this here. Some useful tips when it comes to the first employee of a company and all the necessary steps that need to be taken. Again, it's so important to be aware of how you should communicate with the EPO, and that's what we're here for today. We're getting there, Bert. We're getting there. There's so much information out there, and sometimes it's difficult to try and bring it in, you know, everything in 2 hours. We're just going to mention briefly, so you'll have a lot of reading to do afterwards. We want to just speak about the DocX. So it is accepted as a filing format for EPO procedures by Online Filing 2.0, the CUS and MyEPO. So it's supported for any document submitted in EPO proceedings. The EPO now offers the possibility to file submissions using DocX format, which is really the format used by most applicants in their daily work, and it also applies then to Euro direct filings and Euro PCT applications. However, it does not apply to the filing of international applications under the PCT. You can have a look at the link. So we put in some links there referring to the Article 22 above for more information. While using Online Filing 2.0, you can attach one or more technical documents to your applications as DocX or X files. You can also combine all your technical documents in a single file, or create then a separate file for each one. And you can have a separate filing of drawings, let's say as PDF. So essentially you can file any type of DocX document with the EPO, providing that they meet, of course, the minimum requirements. And when you have a moment, please take a look at the Article 23 link above. We've also included a feature guide, which will explain to you in detail how to prepare and file submissions in DocX format using MyEPO services. So primarily, I suppose, really DocX format support smoother, more consistent workflows across the patent grant process by enabling then efficient digital processing and, of course, alignment with further tools and services. So the key message, I believe, is informative. It contributes really to a more streamlined end-to-end digital environment that really saves time for all parties. And Roberta, I'm going to let you speak now.
Oh,
You're going to come now, so maybe you'd like to say something on green papers. Wonderful.
yeah. Well, the digitalization is a topic very well spoken everywhere. The EPO is undergoing a very strong digitalization process. We are trying to connect all the numerous database we are having in-house, modernizing them, changing it, and trying to put them into context so that we can deal better step by step with the contact data that we have from you. So aim of the EPO, you know it now best, by end of 2027 is, for example, to become paperless. We don't have a defined date yet, but please, if you still don't use the EPO mailbox, maybe now is the time to think about it. Take your time at your pace to understand how to set it up, how to use it, decide for a proper workflow internally in your company in order not to miss any important communication from our side. So under the strategic plan 2028, of course, going paperless by end of 2027 is a very high goal at the EPO. Users have access to the tools. They need to communicate and interact with EPO services. So be ready to have the proper profile set from the beginning on. Take your time. You can always get in touch with us. If you have a key account manager in your company, you can get in touch with our support. We are always happy to help you to go through all the little hiccups or uncertainty that you could have. So far to digitalization, and we see very regularly that even the platform of My EPO is like releasing new features, a new way to communicate with us, both in self-service, but still as well in an hybrid form. So there are many actions that you can perform solely in front of your My EPO platform, and this will be reflected immediately in it. There are some others where you still need a sort of cooperation between your role as users and us as internal responsible, how to connect the dots, as I say. So I see as well that our colleagues in the background have really replied to all the questions. Thank you a lot for your help. And yes, summary.
Actually, Roberta, I'm just going. This is summary. You'll get the presentation. But I'm going to stop share so you can see us maybe better for some particular little areas. So stop share. Okay.
So we think we could now close the session.
Absolutely,
It's 3 minutes to 12. Everybody wants to go to have lunch and refresh a little bit the hair with so many information. Thank you to have been with us all the time. Thank you for your interesting questions. We hope that we delivered already in writing with some clarifications. And as I said, please get in touch with your key account manager, get in touch with our support. We are here to help you through, and we are struggling as well internally towards the digitalization. So don't worry, we will make the travel together. Ima, I gave the words to you.
Yeah, just very briefly, just you need a company administrator. And if that person is not already obvious or known to you, then please contact support via the contact form or find out who it is, or just simply become the administrator yourself. Okay, we've talked about what the administrator what they must do. You save time, resources, and you become far more efficient as well. So from our side, it's really important that you take these actions and this responsibility seriously, to help us help you manage and protect your data. So from my side, it was wonderful to present with Roberta today. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone for taking the time to join us today. As I said, there was a lot of information. We tried to compact it as best as we could, but the main thing is it's out there. You receive a copy. And on that note, have a wonderful day, and we both look forward to seeing you next time. Until then.
Goodbye.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye.